Hello guys, today I'm going to briefly discuss about agreement on anti-dumping. So starting with, I'm going to tell you what all I'm going to cover. Firstly, I'm going to cover the objectives of dumping, then we'll tell you about its history, then some conditions which are necessary for an anti-dumping investigation to start, and then why are anti-dumping laws important for us, and at last I'm going to present you about my opinion on the topic. Okay, so if we take out some time from our busy social lives and pick up a toy with which our young ones play, we will find Made in China written on it. Well, it's not a thing of surprise, we all are familiar with it, but you'll get surprised to see the price on the toy. It will be like too damn cheap. Now, this is just one example. We every year get numerous products from different countries at very low, cheap rates. We might think of it as a profitable imports for our country, but in fact, it is dumping of its product by another country. Okay, so now starting with it, first question that arises, what is dumping? So dumping is a process where a company exports a product at a price which is lower than the price it normally charges in its own home country, right? Basically, like China sells a pen for rupees 10 in his country, but sells the same pen for rupees you say 7 in India. So that's what is called dumping. However, a bargain sale in the sense of ordinary trade is not dumping. So कोई भी bargain वाली जो sale होती है उसको हम dumping नहीं कह सकते. Now coming to the next point, Article 6 of GATT. Now, GATT is General Agreement on Tariffs and Trade. It accepts the proposition that dumping is an unfair trade practice, right? So it states that remedy against dumping is what? It's anti-dumping duty, which is to be imposed only upon finding of injury caused by the dumped imports. So basically, what it's saying is, where it is demonstrated or shown that the dumped imports are causing injury to the importing country within the meaning of the WTO agreement which occurred, right? So by the investigation under that agreement, the importing country can impose anti-dumping measures to provide relief to the domestic industries which are injured by the imports. So next is what is anti-dumping duty? As I said, now anti-dumping duty is a protectionist tariff that a domestic government imposes on foreign imports that it believes are priced below fair market value. So basically, to protect the local businesses as markets, many countries impose stiff duties on products that they believe are being dumped in their national market. And now the country's imposition of an anti-dumping duty is determined by a method by looking into the dumping margin, which is the difference between the export price and the domestic selling price in the exporting country. So the difference होगा that would be the margin, and that will determine the anti-dumping duty price. So, but when it is impossible to obtain a comparable domestic price, maybe because there are none or low volume sales in the ordinary course of trade in the domestic market, like उस चीज़ की market हमारी country में है ही नहीं जो हम बाहर export कर रहे हैं और सस्ते में बेच रहे हैं, तब क्या होगा? Then either the export prices to the third countries or a constructed value is used for the price comparison. Now, what is constructed value is I have written here that it is the cost of production in the country of origin plus a reasonable amount of administrative selling and general cost, right? Um, okay, now the most common question that arises is why dumping? Like why do countries dump? And I mean, why would they want to, you know, get into losses and sell their products for cheap rates in another country? Like why? So the reason would be to find a place in the foreign market. Like due to perfect competition in the foreign market, the seller lowers the price of his commodity in comparison to the other competitors so that the demand for his commodity may increase, right? Now, next would be to sell surplus commodity. So when there is excessive production of a monopolist commodity and he is not able to sell it in the domestic market, so the seller would want to sell the surplus at a very low price in फॉरेन मार्केट बिकॉज व्हाई वुड अ मोनोपोलिस्ट वांट टू लोअर द प्राइस इन हिज ओन कंट्री जहाँ पे उसने इतनी मुश्किल से मोनोपोली पाई है वो वहाँ पे तो एकदम से सस्ता नहीं कर देगा प्राइस तो इंस्टेड उसको प्रॉफिट ही होंगे अगर वो बाहर की कंट्री में उसको सस्ते में बेचे then comes the expansion of industry so the cost of production of his commodity is reduced and by selling more quantity मतलब जब तुम अपनी कॉस्ट कम कर दोगे then you'll be able to sell more so if you sell more quantity of this commodity at lower price in foreign and domestic market both then of course the seller would gain more profits. The next point would be new trade relations. So now when he sells his commodity at a low price in foreign market, he of course establishes new market relations with those countries. Next, I'm going to tell you about the history of it, like how did it all begin. I'm talking about anti-dumping agreements. So the origin of anti-dumping legislation can be traced back to the 19th century, where European sugar industries appealed to their respective governments for protection against sugar being dumped at unfairly low prices. So this was the first instance, and followed by it in 1902, there was a formal agreement on anti-dumping, and Canada was the first one to adopt anti-dumping law in 1904, which was followed by European countries, and then came the US in 1916. So basically, then comes the US modified law of 1921 and the Canadian one. These both founded the basis for original GATT article on anti-dumping in 1947, and then subsequently calls on anti-dumping were developed during the Kennedy round and Tokyo round. Well, however, I want to point out that these are not binding on all the GATT members. They were only open to signature. I mean, they were open to signature by those countries that wish to do so, right? So, but the last in Uruguay round agreement, it is binding on all the GATT or WTO members. Next, I'm going to talk about the conditions for initiating an anti-dumping investigation. So basically, there are some conditions which a country must oblige or follow with before starting with the investigation. Now, the first and the easiest one is that there is dumping. Like, what's dumping? So the export value is less than the normal value, and it should be in the ordinary course of trade. Also, it should be for the like product, the same product, when it is destined for consumption in the exporting country. And this all is covered under the Article 2 of the agreement, right? Next is that there is injury to the domestic industry. तो डोमेस्टिक इंडस्ट्री को इंजरी होनी चाहिए, ये होना भी ज़रूरी है. अब तीन टाइप की इंजरीज होती हैं. फर्स्ट वन इज द मटेरियल इंजरी टू द डोमेस्टिक इंडस्ट्री. सेकेंड वन वुड बी द मटेरियल थ्रेट टू मटेरियल इंजरी टू डोमेस्टिक इंडस्ट्री. एंड तीसरी हमारी आती है मटेरियल रिटार्डेशन इन द इस्टेब्लिशमेंट ऑफ डोमेस्टिक इंडस्ट्री. सो मटेरियल रिटार्डेशन वाला जो पॉइंट है, नाउ दिस इज अ टेस्ट विच इज अप्लाइड where industry is yet to be established. So not going into the details, these are the three basic points, and when all the three conditions are met, it is ascertained that the domestic industry has faced material injury on the account of dumping, and it is provided with reliefs accordingly. Then I'm going to tell you about why are these laws important. Like, some of the grave consequences can be, if dumping is unchecked, are like decline in the output of domestic players, of course, because due to losses faced by them on arrival of cheap products in the market. And then comes the loss of market share for indigenous products, which in turn hampers the secondary sector of our economy. And our country, India, suffers most from this type of dumping. Then increasingly reduced ROI due to losses in the market, then reduced wages for workers on account of decrease in overall prices of goods. Then the adverse effects on cash flow are also observed due to dumping. Further, due to losses faced by the domestic producers, a market's ability to raise capital gets severely hampered. So in total, we can say that the citizens lose the incentive to enter the market, which is detrimental to any economy. At last, I want to conclude with my opinion and say that no country in the world today is self-sufficient, right? Because of globalization and all, we all are dependent on each other. In fact, every country is dependent on each other. At the same time, it is important to have free and fair trade to ensure equal conditions and opportunities for all the countries to prosper. However, dumping is one such practice that hampers this prospect. Although India has laws in this regard, but they're far from being perfect. Implementation glitches, which are combined with laxative approach of government, often lead to the rampant dumping in few areas of the economy. So it needs to be curbed as soon as possible, or else our cliche of emerging superpower will forever remain as such. So that's it. That was my presentation on the topic. Hope you liked it. Thank you.